What's up, you dirty freaks? You dirty green dildo loving freaks. We've got a very special guest in the house. This is actually Richard's bastard child. People don't know this. Richard, he's actually got a son. And so what does it feel like, Hexy bastard, to, not talk to your dad anymore? Do you miss him?
How can I miss someone that I never spoke to, mate? I met him very briefly at the 731 and he didn't recognize me. So what can I say?
It's a shame, but I'm sure a lot of people in the chat can relate, given that we're all in crypto. we have to have a little bit of mental illness, don't we? So yeah.
If you didn't have it before, you certainly have it now after this bloody bear market, mate. Like, it's been dreadful, man. Watching that value go from like a lot to nothing is very painful. Very painful.
I've been telling people you got to be clinically insane to still be here, but congratulations, because you all deserve these girthy green candles that we've just experienced. 50% up on pretty much everything in the past week, 200% on HEX. So welcome, everybody. We've got the usual suspects in the chat. We've got D'Artagnan. We've got Kaiser, of course. Brian Magruder, I gave you a wrench, bro. So we're going to need trolls up in here. Although everyone's in good spirits today. I can't imagine everybody's too upset. What with 9-inch right around the corner, new staking, new yield farms, limit orders. What more do you guys want? Come on.
And on Ethereum as well, boys.
and on Ethereum. A Wild SJ. Hey, what's up, Wild SJ? Great stream earlier, by the way. Mango Junkie. I'm gonna get to everybody in a minute, but yeah, let's go off with that one. Limit orders and on Ethereum. People don't realize that launching this on both chains, I think, is a way to funnel significantly more people in from the ETH chain. Not only are you building a DEX for people to trade HEX on, so Uniswap gatekeeps us. You come in with 8 more inches than Ethereum has. Respect, by the way, respect on the memes. And at the end of the day, it's like a lot of people really do get in for the memes. They don't give a shit about the tech. They see, funny dick jokes. And, the vast majority of the IQ curve can relate to that, I think.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, do you know, the majority of trading on Ethereum, PulseChain, Binance, basically every chain is meme coins. That's where the volume is. And no one seems to understand that volume is good. Volume's good anyway, but volume with a DEX that has buy and burn is significantly better. So if you can apply buy and burn and you can just sort of like get everyone in volume wise, then you're going to kill it. But the main thing that actually with your stream particularly, the main message I wanted to get across to people is the fact that Uniswap have screwed us so badly. They are dicks, Nate. They are dicks. They're just like bug eating. I'm going to use some of Sammy's shit here. They're like bug eaters. They want everyone to own nothing. I don't even know what it is, right? But those guys do not care about the people that made them popular. Hexaco made Uniswap popular. This was before I even got in, right? But all this happened long ago, and now they're shitting all over us. So I would encourage everyone, once we launch, who has a LP pairing on Uniswap for HEX, to migrate all of that over to 9-inch, because you will be treated much better. Because not only will you get the trading fees as normal, you're also going to get yield by yield farming it. So even if the volume isn't as good and maybe you don't get as many trading fees, that's completely countered by the yield that you will make in the BBC token. So honestly, the number one thing I want to get across to the HEX community right now, if you don't like us on PulseChain because we're competing with PulseX, fine. I completely get that. But don't hate us on Ethereum. We're going to bring so much utility to you guys, and you guys are going to make more money. No expectations, of course, but there's a good chance that you'll make more money providing LP on 9-inch than you will on Uniswap moving forward. And if we can get half, or I want 90% of that LP, man. I want 90% of the HEX LP over on a 9-inch on Ethereum, because I think you guys will be way better looked after over there. So
that's a huge value prop, but not a lot of people realize. I'm probably going to clip that later as well. But Uniswap has fucked us in many different ways. They're charging a fee. It doesn't even go to the uni holders. They gatekeep us manually off the front page. You cannot click the HEX button. They can't stop you from buying HEX. Yes, you can use CowSwap. Yes, now you can use my 9-inch. But what else was the final nail in the coffin was when they offered the KYC switch. And, oh yeah, it's optional, sure, but one day it won't be. I mean, come on. It's always they get their foot in the door. They say, oh, we have an optional KYC switch, and yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they've sold out to JP Mosquito. They sold out to the bug eaters, and they've become the opposite of why crypto was invented. They bit the hand that fed them, and that hand was HEX, right? I mean, people don't like hearing this, but we really did make Uniswap popular. For 2 months, April and May of 2021, was it? Or maybe 2020? For 2020 on Uniswap V1, HEX trading on Uniswap was 40% of the total volume on Uniswap.
That's massive. That's massive, man.
So give us the respect we deserve, right? So, I guess if you want a job done right, you've got to do it yourself sometimes. So I appreciate degenerates like you appealing to the masses. I don't play those games, right? People know I'm a little bit responsible, but I gotta admit that I understand what people do in crypto. I mean, people trade meme coins all day long. Just because I'm not invested in Pepe or Elon Doge baby Mars coin, like it doesn't mean that you can't degen to your heart's content over on 9inch. I think that the one of the big, so what you said is a migration, right? One of the big tasks that we're going to want to see out of 9inch is a migration of one liquidity pool to another, right? Because what 9inch offers is a new set of liquidity pools. Let me back up for people that don't know. I mean, there might be some new people watching that they don't even understand what 9inch is. It's a new DEX, guys. It's a new trading platform. They've got dick jokes. They've got BBC token, stands for big bonus coin, obviously. What else would it stand for?
Nothing else.
Come on, you dirty freaks, get your minds out of the gutter. The only meme coin I own is PP. You know what? I free claimed my PP as well, and I've been watching those green candles. Nice and green.
Killing it lately, man. Killing it. Yeah. We're almost a year old, man. And we broke even in the bear market. In fact, I think we're actually up a little bit now. So in the bear market, while everything's going down 90+%, we're just staying strong, firm. The plebs we trust. We're just going to kill it. We've done this well in the bear market. What do you think we're going to do in the bull market, guys? Seriously.
So are you the least wrecked meme coin on PulseChain at the moment? I think you are.
I don't know, because there are things that have kind of come about that have gone up a lot, but they don't have any real liquidity. So it's kind of hard to judge versus that. We've got thick enough liquidity. It's up in the sort of like 50 to 100K range on both chains, I think. It obviously moves around all the time depending on where the price is, but we've got pretty good liquidity. I mean, sure, a coin can come along with $20 of liquidity and probably outperform us, but the issue is you buy it and then there's no way to ever get out because there's no liquidity to sell into. So yeah.
And I remember when you first launched, it was one of the OG meme coins, that and Pulse Doge, the original Pulse Doge, which unfortunately the secondary option had to come around and fuck everything up. But yeah, the original.
Fuck those guys, mate.
Yeah, look, say I mean, like, say what you want about the original Pulse Doge, but they didn't try to do any dirty tactics as far as I am concerned.
The original Pulse Doge guys are honorable, and that's exactly why I teamed up with them to create 9inch, because they are honorable, man. I really like these guys. I said I didn't get into Pulse Doge early. I didn't even realize it was a token. I just thought they did memes of Richard on Twitter, and I thought it was quite funny. And then eventually I realized what the crack was. But back in the day, this is the transition I've made. I used to hate meme coins. I thought they were stupid. And I wouldn't understand why anyone would buy them when you got products like HEX and this and that. And this is not to convince people that buying them is a good idea. It's not necessarily a good idea, but they do pump hard as fuck. If you can find one that has a good team behind it and has a community and is onboarding people, the chances of that doing 1,000x very quickly is a lot greater than standard blue chip kind of cryptos. With those, you have to wait a lot longer. So the reason that the dgen casino exists is because everyone knows a guy that bought Shiba Inu at the bottom and forgot about it, and then 3 months later he's like a multi-millionaire because by that point, Dogecoin, there's loads of them. Pepe, there's guys who bought Pepe that made like a 10,000x very quickly. That shit with HEX, I mean, HEX did it very, very well. It did it within 2 years. In fact, from bottom to top, it was a year, right? About
a year and a half, 600 days.
Year and a half, yeah. So, I mean, that's still very quick to do a 10,000x. But with meme coins, you can genuinely do a 10,000x in like a matter of days. Sometimes it does actually happen. But for every one successful meme coin, there's like 999 rug pulls or scams or things that just genuinely don't make it. Even the founders have the best intentions, but it just doesn't make it for one reason or another. So you have to be really lucky to pick one of those. It's certainly not something you can go all in on. Whereas HEX is like a pretty serious financial product, has that long-term product market fit. So you can go all in on something like that and expect to hopefully make a decent return in the future. But the reason the dgen casino exists is because of the guys that do get really, really lucky, and they do make a lot of money very, very fast. So a lot of the guys in crypto are here for that fast buck. They're not here for the oh, I'll just buy it and wait 5 years. No. They want to make money now. They're desperate now. So they'll do what they can to make money as quickly as possible. But the amount of winners is vastly overshadowed by the amount of losers. Now, we've found a way to kind of monetize that in terms of the 9-inch holders by having the buy and burn. So as these guys are trading in the dgen casino, we're just accruing these little fees which go to buy and burn. Over time, that's going to add up, and it's going to create a lot of buy pressure overall for the 9-inch token holders. So, it's not that we encourage people to participate in that per se. We're just giving them a platform to do it. It's like,
look, it's like people are going to do it anyway, right? It's like back in high school, you had that one friend with the cool mom, it's like, oh, we can all drink and party in this guy's basement. And as long as nobody drives home, we can all go here and it's relatively safe. So I'd rather people degen in our sandbox, right? I'd rather people, they're going to do it anyway. And you made a lot of good points there. Yes, the majority of the people, like even HEX, it's pretty simple, right? I like to say it's as simple or complicated as you want it to be. Some people like the complexity. Most people are on the lower end of the bell curve and they just see, oh, coin has dog, buy. And and that's what we've devolved to. But I like to think it's a one-way diode. I like to think you get people in with some of these ridiculous, meme coins. And yeah, I'm really grateful that you're telling the truth. Maybe 10 out of 1,000 will do well. So choose wisely. But maybe some of
the odds are against you for sure. Like they're heavily against you.
If people are going to treat crypto as a casino, right? Give them a casino that can potentially filter them to a better longer term option as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, HEX and PulseChain and PulseX and things like that are always going to be like somewhat favored on our platform just because of the core user base that we have. Because obviously the 9-inch, well, I say obviously, people might not know this, but the 9-inch token is a DAO. So by owning 9-inch, you can vote for what gets yield on the platform. And I guess a lot of you guys that did sacrifice for 9-inch, like HEX, or you like PulseChain, or you like PulseX, or any of like Maxi, Hedron, all of these things, maybe you like those things. So if the consensus generally is to apply yield to those pairs, then a lot more people are going to see those pairs and buy into it, which is positive for price. I think honestly, like the farming protocol that we have, when people look at that refresh every month, once it's going to refresh on whatever date it is every month. When people see the new APYs available, if there's a coin there that's got a lot of APY available, people are going to FOMO into that 100%. So having 9-inch voting potential is going to be a huge selling point. And that's why I think that the idea that we've had with 9-inch is so good, because token founders and communities are going to want 9-inch tokens so that they can vote up the token that they currently have, because they're trying to get the new batch of people coming in. It's almost like a different way of marketing, because Twitter is just spammed up with like 1,000 shitcoins trying to market to you all day, every day. Right. There's all the influence. No one trusts influencers anymore, so you can't even go down that route if you wanted to. Listen, bro, when I launched PP, I tried all of this and none of it works. Like, we did advertising on Nomics. We did all sorts of stuff. Nothing works. The only way you can do it is find a different way, think outside the box. And having something like 9-inch, if you're a guy that can get in on 9-inch relatively early, the power that's going to give you in the future is potentially going to be crazy.
Yeah, voting is another thing that we all thought that was coming to PulseX. It might not be there for a while. Like, it might end up being the INC holders that vote. Maybe someday. It doesn't look like
that would be the most bullish thing that they can do for INC, I think.
Yeah, right. And it's even written in the code. There's some comments in the code about potentially changing that one day. But rather than sit around and wait for that to happen, this is a good experiment, and it's going to prove to us how people use this voting contract. And I do think people will ape into BBC just to show their little poop coin XYZ. And, that's going to create buy pressure just for the sake of advertising on the platform. And although we know a lot of these meme coins have pretty short life cycles, that permanent feedback loop from people wanting to come in, buy BBC just to get their coin listed on the single-sided staking, for example, that's going to create constant buy pressure on some of the OG meme coins, mostly probably 9-inch PP, PLD, BBC, right? I love your shameless tweet the other day, right? Not financial advice. And PLD, PP, what's the other one? WHETH.
Yeah, where did the ETH go?
Yeah.
That's honestly, I love that one, because this is how quick we can be with these things, because we are occasionally going to do like random airdrops to our holders, to 9-inch holders or to PP holders, whatever. We are occasionally going to do that, and we literally thought of that idea, like the day after the SEC thing happened. and it was just so perfect. And the PulseChain side went up 400x in a day. In a day. 400x, bro. Like, what the hell? And now it's curving upwards, and it looks like it's going to shoot for the moon again because of the imminent 9-inch launch. Obviously, these things are going to get preferential treatment to some degree on our platform, so they're always going to have single-sided staking, for example, which is something that no one can even vote for. Single-sided staking is something that we decide. Like, we are going to give single-sided staking to the things that we think are most beneficial to have that on the platform, because we want to draw new users in. That's why we're doing HEX single-sided staking in the first month, because we want the HEX liquidity to come over from Uniswap, and that's a good way to claw people in to see the platform, so they see that. And I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass right now, but let's say, for example, you can get 80% APY on single-sided staking HEX, but on the HEX ETH pair, you can get 500%. And again, I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass, but I'm just saying, if you can get 500% on that, that's crazy. Everyone's going to ape into it. But then here's the kicker: is the HEX 9-inch pair will probably have 10 times greater, 10 times or maybe even more greater yield on it, APY, in the BBC token, because we're going to kind of encourage people to get in on the 9-inch pair. We want the 9-inch liquidity to be thick with a lot of different things. So when we do a pair, say HEX ETH, we're also going to do a 9-inch pair. The emissions on the 9-inch pair are probably going to be 9 times as much as what they would be on the Ethereum side. So it's like we hook you in with the 100 or the 200% APY. But if you go for the 9-inch pair instead, you might get 1,500% APY or 2,000% APY.
Oh, it's a classic strategy. It's like freemium onboarding. It's like, even the HEX early days, HEX had a free claim. It's a very similar strategy of you get them in with a little bit of yield, and then you get them into the thing that's, if you want the whole dish, right? Like that's where you really send them to. And what people don't realize too is that, first of all, I'm going to answer this guy's question. Pulseturbator, fitting name. PP will have single-sided staking. Oh wait, you're talking about PP the token. I can't answer that. Can you?
Yeah. So there's only a few tokens that have permanent single-sided staking in which that they can actually do a lockup period on this as well. Now, when you do a lockup, you can get up to a 21x multiplier, which is huge, by the way. 21x is nuts. That is going to be 9-inch BBC. They're the kind of preferential ones on the platform, because you need that self-repeating loop to ensure that so basically people buy it and then they take it off the market by locking it up for a period of time. Very similar to HEX. But then you've got our own meme coins, which is Poor Pleb, of course, PP, Pulse Doge, the original one, PLD, and then Waheth, where did the ETH go? They're going to have the lockup staking periods, and there will be a permanent fixture of single-sided staking on the platform. And you can lock that up for up to a year and take advantage of that. Other things that we're going to do on single-sided staking, they're only going to be flexible, and they'll probably be on 30-day intervals. So at the beginning, we're doing HEX for 30 days, and then we might rotate into something else. If it's working out really well, then we'll keep HEX, but we might rotate into something else. Perhaps Hedron, perhaps Maxi.
Well, that's all right, because then guess what? Everybody's already brought their EHEX over there at that point. Let's say the pool does end after 30 days. The next logical step, I think, for a lot of people after that would just be, well, I've got all this EHEX. Why don't I just tie this to PHEX, bond my liquidity like we were supposed to do the whole fucking time, guys? Like, I thought we were always going to do this. I guess some people just cheated out. They thought EHEX was dead. So I love that you're bringing that back. Obviously, I've been yapping about that for a long time. And I loved when it was still on PulseX, but the reason that they took that EHEX PHEX pair off of PulseX was because people were EESing their stakes just to go chase whatever yield. Like, they clearly didn't understand. But I'm glad that
you're probably going to see a bit of that when we do our EHEX PHEX pair.
That's all right. I'll drink the tears of all the haters. I'll drink the blood of all the non-believers. So because all the penalties and HEX go back to the stakers. If people don't know that, you should probably know that. And don't end your stake early unless you really understand what you're doing. Because if you're not at least halfway through, you could lose everything, actually. So there's so many features on 9-inch that people were wishing PulseX would have. And of course, PulseX, they've got to be slow. They've got to do it right. 9-inch is also relatively safe. However, I mean, I wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't double audited. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you've got 2 audits, right?
2 audits, yeah.
So and it's based off of existing code. So it's building on the shoulders of giants here, and also the new stuff is audited as well. But features like limit orders, features like voting, features like timed pools. These are really cool, and some of them might work well. Some of them other people might not use as much, but it's good to have this test bed to see what works, what people really, adopt. So the risk with single-sided staking, HEX G unit, you're asking about the risk. Other than the smart contract risk, which is the code itself, which, like I said, it's audited, and I really wouldn't be interested if it wasn't. It's kind of very, very low risk, right? You don't have to really risk too much.
Other than the code being fucked somehow, like, there is no risk. You just put your money there, and then you can get it out at any time. The only time you would have any kind of penalty is if you put it in and withdraw it within 3 days. But all of this is like detailed on the website, and even then, you only take, I think it's a 1% fee. And that's if you put it in and then remove it within 3 days, I think it is. So there basically is no risk, honestly. Like, as soon as you apply that to single-sided staking, you start accruing the BBC token immediately. You can harvest that every single block if you want to. You might make half a BBC a block or something like that. But if the BBC price is like a few dollars, maybe that's speculation. Again, I have no idea what the BBC price might be. But if it was, then that means you can harvest, a few dollars every 10 seconds potentially if you've got enough money in there.
Every block,
yeah. It's just like PancakeSwap. This is the thing, is like, I feel like a lot of hexicans, because I'm a hexican. I come from this ecosystem completely, and we don't really understand. It took me a while to understand even like PancakeSwap. Now, most of crypto understands how PancakeSwap works, but the hexican community don't really get it because they've never used it. A lot of them anyway. Some guys did, but because PancakeSwap was available on Binance, and the way PancakeSwap works is absolutely genius, because they pay you out in the cake token, which is basically our BBC token, or Richard's ink token, and it just, every block there's a certain amount of emissions, and that gets split up in ratios based upon your share of whatever pool, and every block it's emitting new tokens. It's a constantly inflating thing. But they were really clever about it because they made most of the yield available for the cake token.
Right.
So you could take the cake token, stake it, and then you get way more cake by staking the cake token. And that is why the price went up 40x, even though it inflates at 10 units a block, which is something crazy like 1 million units every 2 days.
Right.
That's nuts, right? And it got to dollar value, like a few dollar value at one point, which is just crazy, So, but that's why it's it's very similar to HEX. Like, people buy it and then they lock it up, so it removes it from the market, and that's just the constant like feedback loop that always happens. And that's what we're trying to recreate here on PulseChain on Ethereum. There isn't really a good yield farm even available on Ethereum, actually. So huge market there anyway.
Well, then kind of the gimmick on top of that with these yield farms, just to be totally transparent, is it requires this new influx of shiny objects, right? Oh, look at this pool this week and that pool that week. And there's a new pool every week, but the primary pool with the majority of the yield, the bonus, is always the original yield farm token for that particular yield farm. And a lot of dexes have copied this, right? It's almost every single dex now has copied the PancakeSwap model to some degree. One thing that's interesting with 9inch is you've separated BBC and 9inch, right? So with Pancake, they use cake for everything. They use cake for voting. It's like their primary token. But now you've separated, just like the INC versus PLSX separation. You've got 9inch and BBC, so people don't always have to cheat out of one coin, and they can always circular, pair it back to the 9inch BBC pair, for example, or any number of strategies. I want to say thank you to Just Hex a lot. I'm not a player. I just hex a lot. We know you do. Thank you so much for the tip, dude. $50. That's really generous. I appreciate it.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
A couple of bottles of vodka right there.
Is that how you? That's how you count your money? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, I drink whiskey, but yeah, it's basically.
Yeah, not surprised. Yeah, guys. I mean, look, I don't know what else you want. This is the PulseX single-sided staking that everybody wanted. This is the.
That's a big one, man. That's a big one. We all wanted that. That's why I sacrificed for PulseX. I wanted single-sided staking, so I can just park it. And my idea of the PulseX sacrifice is, okay, I'm gonna spend this money now, sacrifice this money, and I'm gonna wait like 4 years. Yeah. But I wanted to be making yield over that 4 years, so it kind of compounds on itself a little bit. And
well, the tricky thing about that is, the yield token, it's how do you get that token to maintain some value? Because people are just going to perma dump it, and then you've got these creative new methods, like we were just talking about. BBC has voting rights and all that. So I think a lot of people.
So technically, no, it doesn't at the moment. Like there is no voting right for the BBC. The 9-inch token is the one that you would do the voting with.
Oh, my mistake. All right.
But it's okay. No, it's fine. But we do have buy and burn for the BBC token, so there is at least a little bit of upward pressure. But I think the trick that Richard has missed here with the ink token is you need to give that single-sided staking, because then people will get it and then lock it up so that they can get more. Right, but at the moment they don't have that, and also there's not really any. The only farm I'm aware of on a PulseX where you can use the ink token is the ink PulseX farm. I think yeah, that's the one. I'm in that one at the moment, right? But the yield isn't very good, and there's no lockup or anything like that, so it's not incentivizing people to like keep it off the market. You know, at any time they can take that and sell it. Like right now, ink's pumped a little bit. I guarantee there's a lot of guys that are going out and just dumping it immediately, or harvesting all their rewards and dumping it straight away. Okay. I remember harvesting. You know, I was farming on PulseX for a while, and ink was like $10, $6. It was just kind of like $10 all the way kind of down to like the $1 mark. And when it hit like $1 and the APY had gone down so much, I just pulled everything, because I'm like, well, it's not really yielding me that much, to be honest. And also the Pulse price had gone down so much, because everything was in Pulse stablecoin farms, right? But the Pulse price had gone down so much that I'd essentially just DCA'd all the way down. And I had a feeling that was almost the bottom. So I was like, yeah, fuck the yield. I'm just going to take all of this LP back. And now it's going up. So I've actually galaxy brained it, because now I've got way more Pulse than I had at the start. And now the price is going up. So like I'm killing
that. That was actually one of the greatest moves. The Pulse stablecoin pairs on the way down. Yeah, people don't understand is you're effectively DCAing, because people are giving you their Pulse because they want to G'd out right away. And you're sacrificing your dollars, but you're getting paid fees and INC the whole time. So it's like you're getting paid to DCA. So congrats to you on that. But this is also a pretty cool thing where I think that the PulseX, you know, maybe the dev team, they can take a look at what's going on at 9-inch. And look at it like a test bed, like, oh, let's see which features are working on 9-inch, maybe adopt some of those in the longer term for PulseX as well. And I want to stress the point too, that I don't look at this like a competitive vampire attack. And the reason is correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the primary liquidity pools that are incentivized over on PulseX, are you going to leave those alone? Or are you going to, like, I don't assume you're going to try to compete with a competing PulseX pair on 9-inch, would you?
No, we're not interested in Pulse versus stablecoin pairs, for example, which is where the majority of the yield's going at the moment. We are interested in the HEX pairs for sure. We are going to have liquidity versus Pulse, but it's mainly going to be like 9-inch and PPPLD, things like that. So basically the structure that we're going to do is we're going to make the 9-inch liquidity very, very well. We're going to incentivize people to make the 9-inch liquidity very, very thick by pairing 9-inch with various different things. So it's a little bit like the Atropa thing that's happened recently, and the reason for that success. Now, I'm not necessarily a fan of those guys. I didn't invest in it or anything like that, but I can admire from a distance the way that they made that happen, because what they did is they had like an LP pair, and then they just bonded all these different things to it from every angle, and that made the liquidity thick. So even though there was only like $30,000 of actual value there, it became a multi-million-dollar ecosystem because there was so many like things that were just paired with it. So we're going to kind of try and replicate that in like a more, in a kind of cleverer way, actually.
Less schizophrenic way. How about that?
Yeah.
They were just coming up with any ticker symbol they could think of. I mean, it wasn't even in English language a lot of the time. It was like Japanese characters and random shit. But no, I mean,
we got a bit more creativity about us, and we've already got existing in the real world 3 different meme coins on 2 different chains. So that's already 6 coins that we've got available that we know we can trust because we founded them, right? So and then we're going to add 2 to the blender on each chain with 9-inch and BBC, and then we've got some really funny plans, but we're just waiting for like the time. So we're going to get this whole system out, and we're hopefully going to make a huge success of it. And then a little bit further down the line, at some point, it'll be the right time to do something else. So by being a 9-inch holder or participant, that will make you eligible to get a free airdrop. And the way we do our airdrops is we just send it you. So you don't even have to do anything. It will just appear in your wallet at some point. And oh man, we've got such hilarious ideas for what we want to do in the future. But we only want to do things that benefit our ecosystem. So our core focus is the 9-inch holders, because they're the guys that have the voting rights. They're the guys that benefit from the majority of the buy and burn. We want that ecosystem in general to go up, because then it's going to lift everything that's bonded to it liquidity wise as well. So yeah, of course, PP will probably go up. Actually, if PP goes up, it's probably going to drag 9inch with it, and vice versa. So yeah, we're going to have everything bonded in like a very thick, LP way. So if people come in and see the value of 9inch in future, then basically everything. There was a term that was coined at the 9inch end of sacrifice party by a few of the guys there. They call it the hexy bastard ecosystem, which is something
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue. Yeah, completely. But they're going, and that's basically everything that's associated with 9inch. Now, of course, we want all these other coins coming in and doing everything, but that's our core infrastructure there. Those like 5 coins in general, they're the one that we want to overall see go up and do very, very well. And to be honest, I think we've got like a perfect formula here for it. Of course, there's going to be like little changes that we're going to make here and there, but the code's set, and all we can do is make adjustments here and there. But I think actually we're onto a winner, man. Like 100%. We're going to kill it.
Yeah, well, you've learned a lot about liquidity bonding. I mean, Richard's taught his bastard son quite well, and so like you already know what's going to happen. You link these things together, and one thing pumps the other. It doesn't matter what entry point people get into. Look, just because I'm not interested in these coins doesn't mean I don't want it to succeed, because I think that there's a spectrum of people saying our meme coins are good for adoption, right? And some people deep down, they know they're bullshitting everyone, right? But I think you guys actually have a solid chance of adopting a good amount of people into the ecosystem, not only by the Ethereum launch, right? By putting this on Ethereum, but just by having meme coins that don't rug. That's a big one, right? Actually not rugging. Go figure.
Trust in the meme coin space is like unheard of, bro. Like if you've got like a group that you can actually trust.
But the fact that you're out here showing your face is like more than 90% of the founders would do.
Sorry, brother. My camera's just died. Let me just swap my camera to the other one. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
No worries, man.
Yeah, that should be all right now.
UFO he's only got a 3-inch, so he wants a 9-inch. Yeah, I hear you, bro. The struggle is real.
I understand, mate. So anyway, Mr. Coffee, I remember when you first heard about 9inch, you didn't like it, but I think that's because you didn't know what it was, right?
Well, it's easy to write off something like 9inch, right? If it's called project's coming to PulseChain, it's called 9inch. Oh, great! Like, what's my first initial reaction? Oh, probably going to be shit. But no, I mean, it's fucking called 9inch, bro. But no, I'm really happy with all the features and how serious you ended up being about it. Because I've known you for a long time, right? So I know you're not going anywhere. You're a real Hexagon OG. For people that don't know, Hexy Bastard's been here for a long time. He actually wants.
I wouldn't call myself an OG. I got in kind of late,
Well,
but I've been streaming for a long time. I've been streaming for over, I think, almost 3 years now. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Our first stream I feel like it was before the big run up, wasn't it? Or did you get in on the top?
No, I didn't get in at the top. I got in at 4.5 cents. That was like my first buy. And I basically just capitulated, like just completely into HEX. So I did at one point. Felt like I was quite rich, but to be honest, I didn't start with a lot, and it only went up 10x. So it's like, but I do understand the value, and it wasn't just that. It's like I loved the community kind of surrounding everything. We've got a really good thing going on here, and there's some clever guys within this community, and that's what kind of made me stick around. Even when I was losing money. But the thing is, I've always had this kind of lighthearted approach with everything. It's like, I don't really care if it's going down. I'll laugh at myself. Right. I don't take it too seriously. I never have. And actually, Mr. Coffee, you really should come on one of our, like, when I start doing them again, like the pub quiz streams and like the UK hangouts and shit like that. You really should do, because the whole idea of my stream when I first started it was just to create like a place where we could all kind of hang out and just not take ourselves too seriously and just have a laugh and stuff. So, but it's just so happened that, I never thought that I would be like a coin founder or anything like that. That wasn't even on the radar for like so long when I was doing all of this. I just wanted to have a laugh. But then a gap in the market appeared in front of me. And then I'm hearing in my head, like founders and holders from Richard. And I'm just like, well, I'm a holder, but I don't really hold much. And I see something here that might work. So what do I do, Yeah. And it worked. And like both of them worked. I mean, PP did $1.4 million on the sacrifice. Just PP. And it's like, bro, it's a meme coin. I was telling people it's a joke. Don't go in hard, right? I'm just fucking around here. I was actually taking the piss out of people because they were so quick to sacrifice. Like any project comes up, yeah, there's a sacrifice. Oh my God, sir, where do I send my money? Please, sir, can I send you my money now? Do you accept this token?
I remember that phase.
Baffled. I'm baffled.
That was top of the bull market vibes, though. It's not the same anymore. Now people are going to cut your throat if you're trying to run a sacrifice at the bottom.
Well, we did the PP sack when HEX was all the way down at like 3 to 5 cents, somewhere in that region. So it had already gone down 90% plus at that point. Maybe it was a little higher, but even at that point, we did 1.4 million. And then the 9-inch sack comes a year later when people are even more wrecked, and it does $15.6 million.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, bro. Where are people? How do people still have money? Like,
I feel like everything about your ecosystem, your whole persona in general, it embodies kind of like the whole ethos of crypto and even some of the degeneracy within the HEX ecosystem as well. But, you know, I understand, like, you're a believer in this stuff, right? But it's also like this, it speaks to the majority of people. It's like, yeah, it's all dick jokes. It's all whatever. Like, it's funny. You're having a drink on stream. Like, let's not take it too seriously. Crypto's supposed to be fun. And so, yeah, I appreciate you bringing back a little bit of that positive energy. You know,
hey, we're all anti-establishment deep down, man. Like a lot of my streams that I was doing was all conspiracy theories and like, God, all sorts of crazy shit, man. We were talking about flat Earth for like 2 hours on one of them. You know what I mean? Like, who does that? Like, seriously.
Well, those are my favorite Sami videos, is when he talks about the aliens, actually. So,
I think aliens are a psyop, bro. I'm just saying.
Really?
Like,
what about lizard people?
A psyop, man. Nah.
Lizard people?
Lizard people is a psyop as well.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure about that. Well, I don't know, obviously, but like I think it's a psyop. I think if it's like relatively well-known common knowledge within the conspiracy, even the people who just dip their toe into the conspiracy world, if they know about it, it's probably a psyop. It's the really deep shit that probably isn't a psyop. You know what I mean?
Don't know, man. I've got a YouTube video I could show you. I've done my own research, sir.
Have you? Right. I'd be willing to watch it. I did believe the lizard people thing for ages. Do you know what got me on that? It was that David Icke guy, right?
Yeah,
yeah. So I used to watch all of his shit. His like 9-hour lectures, man.
I mean, he used to be a pro soccer player or football player as well, and like
he was a football player, but he got injured and he became a commentator for the BBC. Red flag straight away. BBC, you know, he's in with not red flag for my BBC, but red flag for his BBC.
The bad BBC.
The bad BBC. So he was in there, and the reason that like so at the time I used to watch his like 9-hour lectures, and the thing is, the guy makes so much sense for 95% of everything he says. And then he transitions to the lizard people, and he's got no evidence for this whatsoever. He just kind of, I think my camera's just gone or something. Can you still hear me, bro?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening with my camera. Sorry about that. I'll just stop my video. Fuck it. Yeah, he goes from, you know, making total sense to lizard people. And then you just like, hang on, how did you get here? You know, so he's just got that certain amount of crazy where people won't really take him seriously enough, if that makes sense.
He's so sure of himself, though. It makes me, I want to believe. Like, I want them to be real so bad. But, you know, like the whole lady on the plane freak out of, you know, that motherfucker's not real. Like, I wanted that to be a lizard person so bad, but, you know.
It would be funny, right? Like, if they ever did prove it, I'd eat my words, man. But, yeah. Sorry about my camera, by the way. No,
it's all good. You can plug it in, or unplug it and plug it back in if you want to. I'm just going to say thanks to P. Bernie with the CHF. I'm not even, that's how ignorant of an American I am. I don't even know what currency that is, but thank you for the 13.37 CHF. I think that's leet, right? It's leet speak. Crypto would be like traditional shares without entertainment. What's the entertainment? Drama, tits, and memes. Yeah, mostly. The memes are pretty funny, that's for sure. We create our own language over here. Crypto literally has created its own language, I feel. So he says that's a big difference, and the power of the memes behind the meme mask is the tech. Right. I mean, that's kind of my whole philosophy here, is if you can get them in with the memes, it's different strokes for different folks. Some people like the complex stuff. Some people like HEX. They like digging in, Hedron, all that. But your average Joe on the street doesn't give a shit about Hedron, or even let alone HEX sometimes. Even Richard himself has said that at certain points, he's like, you know, I think HEX is too complicated for some people, but it's just a better Bitcoin. And so he's tried to simplify it, you know, it's by being a better Bitcoin. So he realizes, just like all of us here, that this is all a battle of narrative memes. And when you look under the surface, it's just whatever story you want to be told. We've got the story for you over on PulseChain. Whatever you want to be hooked in with, we've got it for you. Hey, your mic is it looks good.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, you look good over there.
Yeah. I just had to swap back to the other webcam and then come back to this one, and it works. That's
Nice.
Good. I never used this this thing that you're using today, so yeah, my computer's
Streamlabs. Yeah, it's a little fucky sometimes. I might go back to StreamYard. It was cheaper, $17 a month as opposed to 25, but
bear market things, mate.
Right. Look at me trying to save $8 on a fucking it's not worth it, guys. His camera is off when we talk about lizard people. Yeah, he is a gray. Have you ever seen him take his glasses off? I don't think so. Same with the hat.
Actually, by the way. I have, mate. Go watch my interview with Funding Jim at the pub in Nottingham. He came all the way to Nottingham just to hang out with me, and we had like an interview. Well, not an interview. We just had like a stream in the pub, but it was like pre-recorded. And I wasn't wearing shades. Look, I'll take them. Do you want me to take them off right now?
No. Just don't ruin it for me.
I won't. Okay.
There's my idea of a hexy bastard, and then there's the real hexy bastard. Sometimes I don't want the real thing. Dry powder, win, FUD, Pamp. What? That comment doesn't make any sense, sir. Hope you're doing all right. Hextronomer says, "Be real. There's no such thing as OG Hexican. Just lucky." Okay.
That's pretty fucking true, actually, man. Because if I'd have just so happened to stumble across Hex when I got into crypto like a year before I did,
right,
I'd be fucking rich anyway.
Right. Because there's all those people that got in the first year that are still up 100x. But if you got in anytime after that, you're probably around break even, right? I mean, assuming you didn't buy 30 cents, 40 cents and up and dollar cost average.
I've got to admit, man, like for every love story like that, I've heard 100 horror stories. I've met a lot of these guys in real life, and I know guys that spent years accumulating Bitcoin, since like 2015, and then they went all in on one click at 40 cents or something like that, and now they're mega wrecked. They at least feel mega wrecked. I'm sure it will come back eventually for them, but it's like, I mean, the thing is, rookie error. Don't go in and if you got a large amount of money, don't do it in one click, right? Rookie mistake, but still, he spent 6 or 7 years accumulating Bitcoin, went in one click, and then he lost everything almost.
That is pretty fucked.
Yes, that's fucked, mate. I feel sorry for guys like that, but there's probably like an equal amount of winners and losers in the Hex community. I've met loads of the Hexicans in real life, loads of them. I've been to like 30 different meetups, and I've seen every flavor you could imagine. We do have one thing in common, that we're like really love the self-sovereignty and the saying fuck you to the man and all that stuff. Like we're all
I think a lot of crypto in general is a lot of anarchists, a distaste for authority and wanting to spend our money without anybody being able to shut us off. I like Monero, wink wink. It's like, this is the reason crypto was invented. So yeah, that's the one thing I think we can all rally behind. Even the Bitcoin guys, right? They love to hate on us, the maxis and all that, but the whole point was censorship resistance, right? And just, it's nice that the price goes up as well. It's nice to get a little pump, but at least we own our own money.
It's true, man. You know what? Like, I fully support Bitcoin. It's just the issue is that it's not scalable enough. So it's never going to be like the currency of the world. It's probably got the best chance, though, actually, weirdly enough, even though it isn't that scalable. Didn't they just find like a huge bug in the Lightning Network the other day?
Yeah. The one dude just quit the team.
Damn, bro. Like, that's the only reason that shit works now.
I never trusted it. I actually used to use it back in the day for my crypto coffee company. I thought people were going to pay me in Lightning. And I was trying to set up my node, and I slowly realized, wow, this tech is actually garbage. Like it's not vaporware, but there's this inbound liquidity problem that I'm not sure if they've been able to solve it yet. But yeah, it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors, and who knows if there's something really bad with the Lightning Network that a dev had to leave. Like he left the team because it was unsolvable in his eyes. Now that could just be FUD, right? But you never know. You never know with this stuff.
It's funny how since that happened, Bitcoin pumped like 30%.
Yeah,
so that was almost like a bottom signal in a way. It's weird, isn't it? Our crypto, it does the opposite of whatever people think it's going to do. And I think that's for maximum casualties. I've been saying this for years. Whenever a news event comes out like that, it's like the guys who actually control what's going on here in terms of price movement. So like your Binance and your ETF guys and Wall Street, whoever, the big money, right? It's like they plant these little seeds out there so everyone gets short. And then they just buy the fuck out of it and wreck everyone.
Right.
You know, FTX were doing that. I used to trade on FTX, and I swear down, you could have like the most perfect setup for a trade ever if you're a TA guy, the most perfect trade ever. And then you hit the button to go in. Maybe you go short. It will do the move that you want it to do, but not before it wicks up enough just to take you out, just a millimeter above where you're at, where your stop loss is or where your liquidation point is, and then it would make the move downwards. It's like every time there was a move, it would always go the other way, just enough to fuck everyone over first, and then it would move down. So that these guys are corrupt as fuck. Like, I don't trust any of the margin trading companies at all.
Nope.
They are corrupt as fuck, mate. So stay well away. Spot only, man. Like, seriously.
True that, bro. I mean, look at where else do you see so many Bart Simpson patterns? If people that don't know what that means, just straight up, Bart Simpson's hair, it paints the hair and then it goes straight back down. This happened with the fake out Cointelegraph. You know, oh, Bitcoin ETFs went live, and it's like, what's your source? Oh, some guy on Telegram told me, and then it turned out to be fake. And then did you see the interview they did afterwards? It was like, so what can you say about, you know, the recent misquoting of you know, the ETF being out and all that? And they said, well, we'd like to actually blame society and people and the internet. So they took no responsibility for themselves. Actually, they didn't even apologize. They just said, yeah, it's because of the way society and the internet is these days that, you know, we got false information, and that's more on society than us. And I'm just like, these guys have no morals, no journalistic integrity. The most
do journalists really have integrity, though? Let's be honest here. Like, does any journalist?
They used to, from what I hear, but not in my lifetime. So,
you might not want to dox, but like, roughly what kind of age range are you in?
30.
You're 30. All right. So yeah, you're about the same as me. I'm a couple years older than you. Yeah.
Nice,
So in my lifetime, I've never seen an honest journalist, other than there's that one guy in America. I can't remember his name now, but he does the oh shit, what's his name? He does the he kind of like confronts people. James O'Keefe. He seems like a relatively honest journalist. James O'Keefe does. But other than that, I don't know any. And that's only because he gets in people's faces and he's like, I'm so obvious here, you can't even assassinate me. Because if you do, then you'll just prove my point, basically. So yeah. I feel like you've got Veritas, Project Veritas, that's what I'm thinking of. They expose a lot of shit, right? So, I mean, they could be part of it. Don't get me wrong, but like they seem to be exposing a lot of shit. So they're the guys that leaked the. There was something dodgy Twitter was doing at one point. It was the woke nature on Twitter where they were like banning right-wing accounts, but then promoting like the left-wing accounts.
Twitter files, right?
Yeah, Twitter files. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they exposed all of that and then a few other things. So you know.
We're living in fucked up times when you got to get more accurate news from comedians like Russell Brand or Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Like I get my valid news source from people that tell jokes for a living. So
yeah, because they can actually be honest and not get chastised for it because they're comedians, right? So it doesn't matter if they're lying or telling the truth, but actually they're telling it. Like Russell Brand getting cancelled recently was like crazy to me because it's like I went to see that guy live when he wasn't even that famous yet.
Oh, he's great.
He is fucking fantastic, man. He came and sat on the guy next to me's lap while he was like, I was like shitting myself, like, please don't sit on my lap. I know what he's going to do. Please don't sit on my lap and talk to me. Sat on the guy next to me. I was like, oh, thank fuck. Thank fuck for that. But yeah, he got voted the sexiest man alive at one point, and then that's the funny thing. They came out saying he was a rapist. And it's like, the guy was voted sexiest man alive. Who the fuck does he need to rape? He's got 1,000 women who want to have sex.
He talks very openly about his sex addiction and all that. And it's just, it conveniently happened right after he was making some controversial remarks about the pandemic and stuff like that. So go figure. You know?
Yeah. Why would they want to shut him down after saying ill things about that, eh?
It's just becoming so obvious. It's just becoming like, I don't even understand who watches mainstream media anymore. What is it? CNN gets probably, was it like less views than, I mean, even some low-level YouTube channels, they don't get any viewership anymore, and so they've got to compete by just doing this outrage marketing. Same thing Richard did, by the way. But I mean, really, they're just trying to.
Bro, I understand completely now why Richard did the outrage marketing because I did a little bit of that in this 3-month waiting period.
How dare you drive a Lambo?
My viewership it wasn't a Lambo, it was a McLaren actually.
Oh, sorry, sir.
In Dubai. Now, I tell you what, like that video, pissed so many people off because they're just like, he's spending our money in Dubai. What a cunt. He's the worst person in crypto. Yeah. And I'm just like, yo, guys, like, you don't even know where this money came from. I actually made a lot of money on a meme coin, believe it or not, completely unrelated to any sacrifices or anything like that. I got in very, very early on DBI. I won't shill it, but I'm just saying I got in early on that and I fucking sold the top. Right. Nice. So killed it. And I've been living off that shit for like a year and a bit now. So, you know, it's nothing to do with the sacrifices, bros. Like,
it's also like people don't realize you can rent a Lambo for pretty cheap. And most of the time, I mean, did you rent that McLaren? Or did you buy it?
Yeah, I rented it. Yeah, just
rented it. See, that's the thing. Because there's a video of me driving a Lambo around Vegas at the conference, and people assume that I fucking like sold the top, like dumped HEX on everybody.
Getting the exit liquidity with your YouTube channel and then dumping it on the reds, isn't it?
I'm like, well, what actually happened was there was a car rental company that was at the conference. They happened to be Hexicans. They're like, yo, Coffee, I love your videos. How'd you like to take the Lambo out for the weekend? I'm like, sure. So they tossed me the keys, gave it to me for free. And then people have the nerve to talk shit as if I just dumped HEX to buy a Lamborghini. Guys, I live in Chicago, man. I would never, if you've seen the potholes in the city, you would never drive a Lamborghini. Like, it's just stupid to buy one.
Bro, where I live in Nottingham, it's like, I was looking at nice cars, don't get me wrong, but you can't drive one of them around here. Like, you can't get a sports car where I live. It's not possible, man. The roads are shit. There's speed bumps everywhere. Like, you just can't. You can't do it. So you just, no. But I did think it would be funny just to kind of, and it was an interesting experiment, actually, at the time, because there was a lot of, like, most of the haters I were getting were like proper Richard Hart maximalist guys. They thought it was terrible when I did it, and I only did it a little bit, by the way, but they stood by like Richard when he was doing it, and they thought that that was okay. But then for anyone else to go and do it is like a bad thing. So I thought the hypocrisy was very, very funny at the time, that like, because it wasn't like all of it. I think most guys got it that I was just taking the piss. I was just trying to be funny, right? I was just doing satire. And that's exactly what we're doing with this lowest of stakes film that we're bringing out soon. We're just doing satire, you know?
Oh, nice.
I don't know if did you see the trailer for that?
I did. I was laughing my ass off. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So me and a few of the UK HEX guys got together. We had this idea ages ago, like way before the film actually came out, that we should do a lowest of stakes, because we were plebs and we were all fucked in the bear market and everything like that. And we just thought it would be kind of funny to just parody it. The idea has evolved so much, and I've literally spent like the last month and a half filming, like, I don't know, 3 days a week or something like this for this thing. And we're about halfway done, I think. I think we're about halfway done.
I hear it's filmed entirely on iPhone. So.
Yes, it is. Yeah, entirely on iPhones with gimbals though, so it's like fairly steady. But
360p quality, I hope.
No, 4K quality, sir. 4K.
Wow, the real deal.
4K. Yeah, the real deal, man.
The real deal. I feel like it should be kind of blurry and kind of shit, you know.
Well, when you see it, we're like recording it in good quality, but we're gonna make it look shit at the same time. Okay. So it's like it's gonna be obvious that it's kind of like an intentionally badly put together thing, if that makes sense. So it's not going to be a direct parody of the highest of stakes, but we're just going to take a little bit of influence from it. But the idea is that a wrecked pleb, i.e. me, gets wrecked in crypto many a time and then finds a way via HEX to do better, but then inevitably it comes to me founding PP and stuff like that. And it's just like a weird kind of completely satire made up story, but it sort of ties in with real life a little bit. And I think we're going to get everyone who watches it, who knows about the highest of stakes, is going to laugh at least once or twice during this thing. So I love it, man. You know, it's going to be funny.
Bring it on. The more memes, the better. Memes are actually, they influence culture more than people realize. I mean, all Elon Musk would have to do is drop one, that's what he did. He pumped Dogecoin to the moon from one tweet. I mean, this is how society works nowadays. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be great. Timothy Harris wants you to explain the hat. So
this isn't a hat, bro. This is just my hair.
Yeah, he literally cannot take it off. So
I can't take it off, man. It just doesn't. No, to be fair, you know what? I was talking to my friend about this earlier. One of the guys that's helping film Lowest of Stakes, because we were out today, and he asked me, so what was it with the trapper hat when you started this whole thing? And I said, you know what? Like, I've always wore these hats. It's just always been kind of a thing for me. And I didn't even think anything of it. But when I went to record that first YouTube video, I actually had like a Trilby hat on at the time, and I took a few photos. I was like, oh, what can I use as a thumbnail before I actually go ahead and record a video? And then this was right next to me, just in the corner of my eye, one of these. And I just put it on. I was like, yeah, I look better in this. Go with it. But then because I wore the hat, that gave me like some weird significance that people were like, man, I love your hat. It's so cool. And then it just stuck. And I just do it ever since. But I genuinely used to wear these all the time anyway, because in England, it's quite cold and you need to keep your ears warm.
Right. And obviously you can't take it off. I mean, are you asking the man to scalp himself? Come on.
Yeah, this is basically a hair transplant at this point, but I change it often. I actually have, I think, 35 of these hats now.
Jesus.
I've got many variants. You see that little head up behind me? He's wearing one of them right now. So yeah, many hats, guys.
They say his head has never experienced the cold. It's never. Hexy,
I was molded by the hat.
Yeah, right. I would hate for you to take it off. You might freeze to death. Make it look like one of Trailer Park Boys. Are we talking about the? Oh, we're talking about.
Oh, right, for lowest the stakes. Yeah,
that was a good show. By the way,
we've taken some influence from like some pretty big pop culture kind of films and things that have happened over the years. So, I mean, there's a really good like reference to Groundhog Day in there, if you know that film. Just all sorts of mad shit. Like, you guys are gonna laugh when you see it. It's probably gonna be out by Christmas. Actually, we're gonna be showing a preview of it at the 9-inch launch party. Which, if anyone is in the UK or nearby to the UK, really consider coming to the 9-inch launch party / PP first birthday, which is on the 4th of November in Windsor, not far from London. I would really encourage you to have a look for that. If you go to my Twitter, you'll see the links for the tickets and stuff like that. Really, we're basically recreating the HEX 731 where I met Mr. Coffee. We had a good experience in the bathroom together, didn't we?
There was no 9-inch involved back then, just so you know, everybody.
No. I'm not quite packing a 9-inch in real life. It's not far off. No, nothing like that. But that's actually where I met Coffee for the first time. Was in the bathroom. We'd already streamed together.
Yeah, it was destiny, I believe.
Bumped into each other, you know. It was funny,
literally and figuratively. Just kidding. Family friendly show. Kellyanne,
sorry about that.
Kellyanne, don't worry about it. That was a great time, actually, from what I remember. I had to cut it early though. I had girlfriend issues at the time, but it's neither here nor there. Kellyanne says,
"You binned her off, mate." At that point,
it's all
giving you shit at an event like that. Fuck off.
It's all in the past. It's water under the bridge. But I'm glad that's been sorted out. So Kellyanne thank you for the tip, Kellyanne. Shill my NFT battle game again, please. Coffee, Pulse Wars. All right, fine. I mean, you paid me $10. I guess I could say it. Pulse Wars in development, launching on PulseChain Q2. I'll be at your launch event, Hexy, traveling over from London. Looking forward to it.
Damn, good shit, bro. Look forward to meeting you, man.
Yeah, wow. $10.
Yeah, we really wanted to like recreate that 731 event, but in kind of like true pleb fashion. So we're gonna have things like sausage rolls and whatever out on, you know. It's just gonna be the same thing but plebby. You know, I don't want to give too much away, but it's just gonna be because that was part of the film, right? So we want to recreate that in our own way for the film. So there is going to be a lot of filming done there. So it's going to be funny, man. Like, we've got a lot of good plans for like how this thing's going to go down, but it's just a recreation.
Great. It's going to be hard to top that, though. I mean, we had a lot more money back then as well to blow, but it was Fabric Nightclub, pretty cool place.
Yeah, mate. I mean, you're not going to get a better after party, like, for sure. So we probably won't beat the after party, but the actual event, like, I think we're going to do a good job of kind of keeping up with it. But we are considerably cheaper than their event as well, by the way. So you get what you pay for, I guess. And there's no Richard Hart there either, which is a shame. Obviously, it was amazing to meet Richard Hart. Like, he was such an amazing guy in real life. Like,
like down to earth. Real. He's a real human being, and I mean, humble, kind of. Not he does play a character. People don't realize that. A lot of his past year was playing a character. I think a lot of it was specifically for the movie, to be honest. He leaned into that side of himself. And he's flashy. He likes his Gucci. He's always like that. But I mean, the kind of asshole enemy persona, he knew that's what gets the clicks, right? But when you meet him in real life, he's just a great guy.
He is. No, I was really surprised, like how humble. You're right. He was humble. He was just a nice guy. Like at the end of the party, as he was leaving, I was like the only guy outside having a cigarette at the time, and he came out like, "Oh, hey man, I'm just about to leave," and I was like, "Oh shit, bro, it's so good to meet you." He spent like 10 minutes talking to me. It was just me and him. We were just chatting.
Wow.
For like, I was off my head, smashed, right? But I do remember it. I don't
Right.
remember what we said, but I remember I spent like a good 10 minutes just chatting to Richard, just me and him. And he was I just remember thinking he was like so nice, you know, like not what I expected. I thought he'd be a little bit like full of himself and a little bit like, oh, I'm too good to be here kind of thing.
Yeah.
None of that, man. He was a really, really great guy. For sure.
He really does want to make people rich. I mean, he wants to create a million millionaires, and it's going to take 5-10 years maybe to do that, but you know, long-term holding. So that's right. We cross swords. We cross swords, Brenton. What happens in the bathroom stays in the bathroom, sir. I'm not gonna we got curled up hand sandwiches, perhaps.
Yeah. Maybe some smiley faces and like have you seen one of them like pineapple hedgehog things? You probably don't know what that is. It's a very British thing where you have like a hedgehog shaped thing, and there's loads of like little the little sticks that have like either a piece of cheese or like a pineapple on it or something, and it's shaped like a hedgehog.
Okay.
Like, caterpillar cakes as well, and all this kind of shit, you know. It's good value for money though. This event that we're doing, we're not trying to make money off it. Actually, to be honest with you guys, I'm probably losing about £80 per person that comes, because we're giving you loads of free merch, free drinks, free food, free everything. Like, and the venue's expensive, man. So we're not trying to make money out of this thing. We just want it to be full. So I really want everyone as many people to come as possible, just so it's packed out, so we can make the film a little bit better. That's basically it.
I really would if I could, but I happen to be moving to Puerto Rico on the same exact day. So
damn, really? Congratulations, bro. That's
big life. Oh, well, we got to prepare for the bull market, right? So not trying to pay 20% for the war machine on the way out. So yeah.
Congratulations, brother. That's sick.
Yeah. Hey, you've always got a place to visit if you're ever in the area. But
yeah, I'm actually going to be going to Panama next year at some point to go and visit Mr. Halarski to get a bank account set up. Of course, obviously. Good
shit. He is a good guy to know. He's very, very smart with all the offshore, you know.
Yeah, he's coming over for this event, so you know, I'm super happy I'm going to meet him.
He's on the team, isn't he, or is he kind of just an affiliate?
Well, not originally, but because of the amount of referrals, he's basically on the team now, bro. Because like the amount of referrals he got in, it was like $4 million worth of the sacrifice. So like a quarter of the sacrifice came in on his referral code. The guy smashed it. Like he's basically a whale in the ecosystem, and he only sacrificed like $2,000 himself. But because of his referrals, he just killed it. So but the thing is, I like that it's him that did so well on it, because he deserves it, and I know that he's not going to like dump it. He's in it for the yield, man. He's never going to sell his principal. It's fabulous. That's exactly what you know. He's a
professional affiliate marketer anyway. He killed it on Steemit. He did great on the Aurochs wallet, I believe, and then 9inch as well. But that's another
point.
He
killed it on HEX as well, actually.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we know that.
Said he got like half of his HEX through his referrals or something. That's nuts.
Yeah, you know? Back in the early days, it makes me wish I went harder at the referrals. I got a good amount from it, but I didn't chill it as hard as I could have. So never underestimate the power of a referral program, guys. I'm serious about that. People have made really good money. And another good thing I want to say before I forget is that with the amount you raise, I think it's about 16 million. And, you know, I'm not saying that to fuck anybody's bags or anything like that, but you need teams that have raised a significant amount of money, because number one, they can pay guys to keep the project going. They can pay people to actually give a shit. And number two, they can provide initial liquidity and really just make the liquidity conditions favorable for whatever coin pairs they decide to do. Right. So, and of course, a lot of future marketing and stuff, no expectations, but I typically
absolutely
like to
none.
Right. Of course. But, you know, people ask me, oh, why did you bet on, you know, Mintra, for example? And I'm like, well, I don't really know shit about NFTs, but to be honest with you, they raised a lot of money, and I know the founder and I trust the founder, and that's about it. So, I mean, those two criteria alone go a long way. Obviously safe, audited code, obviously solving a problem, product market fit, all that stuff. Memes are great, but just trusting the founder and raising significant capital. You know, because what is a team that raises $100,000? They're not going to be able to survive for much longer than a year.
You can't do much with $100,000, man. If you want even reasonable liquidity, you need at least $100,000 to do it. on both sides, you know, so it's not really like very good. But you're absolutely right, man. I think the best way to go in crypto, if you've got the luxury of like meeting some of these founders either in real life or being able to communicate with them in one way or another, that's a significant thing. And I think that's one of the reasons why we did so well with both the sacrifices I've done, because I've met so many people in real life. They know I'm a genuine person, and I actually, of course, I'm trying to help myself, right? But I have a lot of passion for helping everyone in general to achieve the same kind of goals.
Crypto is one of those places where our greed overlaps with everybody else. It's a win-win game if we're playing on the longer term, right? You're not playing these games where, hey, buy my meme coin and I'm going to dump everything on the top, right? There are a significant amount of people out there that do that. You know, they try to hook you in and then they dump on their followers. But, you know, we're playing these games where it's wealth generation. It's positive sum. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Completely agree.
Somebody thinks I'm going to regret PR. Are you saying that out of experience, or are you just armchair quarterback over there? Like, maybe I'll regret it.
I'm looking at his profile pic and I'm like, no, I don't think you should take advice from that guy.
I think that's an evergreen. I think it's an evergreen tree behind him, so it doesn't look like he's in Puerto Rico. I think I'll be all right, bud. I think I'll be all right. Hey, and the thing is,
it's not about the Puerto Rico thing. Yo, bro, if you can avoid taxes, I fucking salute you, man. Fuck taxes, especially when you've got money, right? Like I used to think when I was a poor man, when I was like a really, really poor guy, that rich people need to pay more tax. As soon as you get a bit of money, you realize, no, the tax system's fucked. You don't want to be paying taxes. You want to do everything in your power to avoid taxes when you are rich, because the way it scales from like poor to rich is ridiculous. Like why in the UK they take nearly half of your money off you if you're doing well. Like why should I be penalized because I'm doing well? What does that make sense in any way?
No, it's the same over here. It's the same in California. Some states are more than others, but federal income tax maxes out at about 40%. And then the state that you live in fucks you for the remaining 5 to 10% ish. Yeah, some states have no income tax, but the federal government is really what does it. And where do these taxes go? You know, they go to people that you didn't elect to fund wars that you don't want to happen. And I think a lot of people in crypto are pretty like-minded. We're very anti-establishment. So if you can save 20% on $1 million, that's very significant. And the majority of rich people I know aren't psychopaths, right? So they use that money in general to help themselves, yes, but the money does overflow into the people around them, their local communities. Maybe they create a business and then they employ people. I think the economy is much more efficient without, you know, all these taxes getting funded to basically these rent seekers. Because 90% of the government kind of just doesn't add much value to the people. They kind of just, it's a corporation.
Governments are corrupt, mate. They're corrupt as fuck. Whilst lobbying exists, if lobbying exists, there's no such thing as a fair government. Everything's going to be corrupt always. Always. Like they need to ban lobbying. Why is that even a thing, right? Like it just makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, well, or you could pay the politicians more so that they're not tempted to take bribes. Because
you
know how cheap it is
that's
to
what
bribe
Richard says, right? Like pay the politicians like $10 million a year, but they can't receive income anywhere else. I think if they do, then they get bad. You know, they get locked in prison or something.
Right. It should be very transparent. It should be. I mean, yes, they do have to. Nancy Pelosi. They've got to show what stocks they're buying. It's actually not a bad strategy, really, if you want to look at what politicians are buying and just copy trade them. People make a lot of money doing that, but the president of the United States.
You're always late, though. You're always late to the party at that point.
Right, because they tell you 3 months later. But the president of the United States makes $400K a year, right?
That's nothing.
That's these days.
Nothing. It should be like 10 million a year or something crazy like that. You know? At least
because you can buy off these politicians. I mean, $1 million here, $1 million there. Look at Sam Bankman-Fried's donations, right? This guy was managing billions of dollars. All he had to do was send a couple million out of those billions to both parties, Republican and Democrat, and he's in bed with everybody. He's the golden boy, right? He can do no wrong because he gave these people a lot of money. So people behave differently.
Until that Caroline came along and swooped him off his feet. She is literally the ugliest woman I've ever seen in my life. How the fuck has he simped over her? I could understand if it was like a supermodel or something, right? But this girl looks like my big toe. She is ugly as fuck, mate. I've never seen an uglier woman than her.
Well,
It's just not.
thank you for saying what everybody was thinking. But
Bro, it frustrates me how simpy some of these rich motherfuckers are, though. Like, it's like, bro, you got all the money in the world. Why are you simping after her? Just go buy a hooker, mate. I mean, I don't mean like, sorry, family friendly. My bad.
I'll be shocked if this live stream is still monetized by the end of this. I'll be in shock.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. If you want monetization, mate, it's not going to happen.
That's all right.
I got demonetized after my first stream. YouTube were just like, you can be here, but you ain't get no money, bro. Like,
at least they're still allowing you to talk, right? So,
anyway, man. Yeah, but bro, so like, the way that the world is in terms of like the politics and the fact that it can be so corrupt and that I just don't have any faith in the system. So I'm doing everything I can personally to get the fuck out of the system. I don't want
that's what crypto is. We're opting out. We're creating our own fake imaginary internet money, and it's better than the government's. And all it takes is enough people to agree, right? One day, who knows? We might even be able to transact in HEX or PP or whatever, right? If we all kind of, it might take 2 decades, but yeah.
Could you imagine a world where people transacted in PP?
Honestly, no.
No, I can't either, mate. And I'm the founder. I can't imagine that world.
No.
I could imagine it with HEX though, actually, because HEX has got that longer term value. So, like, you know, if the price became more stable one day in the end, you know, then I could actually see that happening. To be honest,
right. You need the unit of account, right? I mean, medium of exchange. First comes store of value, then comes medium of exchange, but you have to settle everything in a unit of account that everybody agrees in. What I can see happening is tiny little, maybe self-sovereign nations popping up. You know, they've already got this with Bitcoin. Have you seen Satoshi Island? Like, there's a whole island of people.
No, I haven't seen that. No.
I would never move there. It's probably full of like maxis and stuff. But you know, people, they all use Bitcoin. They all transact. That's the whole idea. And they live in these little pods and stuff. It seems, I wouldn't want to live there, but it's an experiment, and it's these self-sovereign nation states are starting to become a real thing. So Hexaco one day, who knows?
I think Richard will do Hexaco, like when he's beat this SEC thing and he can start coming out talking again, because that's obviously why he's been quiet for a year, right?
Right.
He can't. He literally can't, because everything he says is going to be scrutinized. So completely get it. But when he can come out and talk again, I think that whole idea of having his own, you know, sovereign state, that might actually happen. And to be honest, I would fucking move there. He might not let me in, but I would try to move there.
I don't think people realize he's actually serious about it. I mean, the whole idea of Hexaco, he's serious. He's going to start his own, like, sci-fi. Maybe it will be a real cult. I don't know, but he's going to do it.
It's already a cult, bro. It's been a cult forever. It's
a cult of getting rich, baby. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, I'll be in a cult if I get rich. Like that's you know, one of my favorite investor guys that I speak to in real life, Balaji. Shout out Balaji. He never really believed in the whole thing. He's a huge HEX whale. I think he's at least a dolphin or something.
Balaji.
Balaji, yeah. So, like, I don't think he ever really believed in the whole thing, but he's clever enough to understand that everyone else will. So he got in on that basis, that he knows that everyone's going to believe it, or at least a huge amount of people will believe it. And that guy's killed it, because he does investing properly, where he doesn't get emotionally attached to his bags. You know, he just does it the way that, you know, you kind of should. You know, you look at things with sort of like a clear frame of mind, and you just base it on logic rather than emotion, which is, to be honest, how you should do investing in general.
Like, but that's not how people work. That's just not. I mean, they say don't marry your bags.
He's a psychopath, mate. Yeah, he might well be. Like, impossible.
No, I've definitely married my bags. I'm extremely emotionally attached, and that's why they have to pump. That's my logic. They must pump because I own them.
But the thing is, though, like you're right. Maybe there are a lot of guys in Hexaco that have married their bags, but actually that is kind of bullish for price. If enough people believe in something and push it, which we have that with HEX, right? There's so many. I mean, we've got like hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 or 2 influencers that are out there on YouTube trying to promote HEX. That's how I started out, man. I was just there to try and pump my bags. That was it. Like, you know, it was selfish almost to some degree. We're all doing it for selfish reasons. We all own a bag and we're trying to promote it. The thing is, we're not flip-flopping about onto different stuff. We're kind of like set on this overall goal that we're all working towards. Whereas there are influencers out there that shill shitcoin anew this week and then dog shit anew the next week. And they're basically, they've bought it, shill it, and then dump it on their followers' heads. Yeah. I don't like that shit. I don't like seeing that stuff happening, man. And I've been a little bit exposed to that world. Like, whilst we're trying to promote PP, we're talking to various different ways to market the thing. And we speak to certain people and they're like, yeah, I'll shill it, but I want $5,000. And I'm like, or I want 10 grand of the coin. I'm like, yeah, what?
Dude, seriously? You just gotta keep doing your thing. You just gotta keep being authentic. Cause I mean, look, I'm having you on my channel. It's probably one of the bigger channels in HEX. And it's like, I've never been paid
the
anything.
Biggest, actually, isn't it? Like,
I mean, it's like saying you have like the nicest property in fucking Tijuana, right? It's like not saying much, but I
think you've got the biggest in terms of like viewership and subscribers. Maybe I don't really know. I haven't looked into it for a while, but you probably were.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you just keep doing your thing. People will reach out to you. You don't have to pay and like these extortion fees just to get on people's channels, right? It's just gonna get bigger and bigger. They'll come to you. It's the same thing with HEX too. Like, there's a reason Richard never paid anybody to promote HEX. Like, he just built a good product.
Yeah, if the product's good enough, it will speak for itself. But you do need a certain amount of like influence in the first place in order to get people to try it, because I've seen some amazing ideas for projects come along over the last year or so, but they just don't have any outreach. They don't have anyone on the front who can actually sell this thing to real people. They might even have an excellent salesman, but he's got no audience. So it doesn't work, because you need that audience of some kind in order to kind of get out there. But I think the only reason that I've kind of done so well in all of this is because people know I'm authentic, right? I'm just being me, and I'm doing things that I think are going to work. And I act like an idiot, right? I'm not a complete idiot. I'm an idiot in some things, but I actually do know how to market things, and I do know what branding works, and I can see gaps in the market. I've always been like this. So
these are legitimate ideas. Limit orders, single-sided staking. This is all the shit that people wanted. So here you go, guys. Like, let's just give the people what they want. See what sticks. Some of it might not stick, but I'm sure a lot of it will. The voting thing, it's just. I mean, if you guys haven't been paying attention, go watch Hexy's 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. You did a solo stream. Basically, he outlines all the features that are coming. Or I know Money Gang Crypto basically tweeted and summarized your entire 2 hours of babbling in one tweet. So let's see.
Babbling. Yeah, you're very right about that. I chat a lot of shit, man. It's hard to get real information.
No, it's pure entertainment though. So yeah, let's see. Next 7 days will launch. DEX on both chains, Pulse and ETH. 20% less gas than ETH on Uniswap. Less gas cost. That's something I didn't mention yet. Potential good chance to buy 9-inch cheap. Single-sided staking, BBC, DBI, PPPLD, WH, ETH. Also HEX. Also PulseX, and farms on
single-sided staking for PulseX, guys. Think about that. How good is that?
It's what everybody wanted.
How many of you guys are holding a lot of PulseX right now, and you can't even do anything?
Yeah, what I'm wondering is, what are people going to complain about next? If they've got everything they want, there's nothing left for them to complain about. They've got to start bitching about something. You know this. Trouble in paradise.
Yeah, well, I mean, if perhaps the price hasn't gone up enough.
Yeah, right. The price of BBC drops a bit. I told you it was a scam.
Yeah. The inflation token that goes up like fucking 1,000 units an hour or 1,000 units every 10 minutes. Yeah, it's gone down in price. It's a fucking scam. No. If you're making 10,000% APY, for example, and it could go down 99% and you're still coming out with like 100x profit. That's how this shit works. If it auto compounds, which BBC does, if you put BBC into single-sided staking, guess what? Every time you earn a single BBC token, it auto compounds. So you've now got bigger principal. That's how it works, guys.
Right. I love that you're forcing people. The primary buyers of BBC are going to be the shitcoin shillers, and you're forcing them to buy a bag so that they can promote their coin on BBC. To me, that's beautiful. I don't know, something about it. Obviously, yes, there's a buy and burn as well. So,
of course.
Trust me, they'll find something to complain about. Yeah, I know. I wonder what it's going to be. Let's see.
Let me just say one quick thing. So I get a lot of hate sometimes, like, "Oh, you're just leeching from the HEX community. You're such a terrible person." Did you know that I've actually got the HEX logo tattooed on me? Literally, I'll show you right now. Look, can you see it? Where the fuck is it?
Yeah, right next to Squidward.
I've literally got it tattooed on me, guys. You say I'm not fucking Hexagon. I've got loads of hex. I'm fucking killing it, mate. Fuck you. Sorry, family friendly.
It's all good, man. Whatever. Air your grievances. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Someone tipped me $50, so I'm doing all right.
That's fine. Yeah.
Makes up for it. But yeah, guys, what else do you want to talk about? Babbling. Yeah. They live to complain and be offended. Right. Some people are just professional at being offended. That's what they do. They hop online. They wake up in the morning. They go on Twitter and they say, how can I shit on somebody's life today? I guarantee there's people like that. Buy and burn. Oh, yeah. Buy and burn. So everything you do on 9inch is going to buy and burn the BBC token.
All trading. So there's a 0.29%, 0.29% trading fee.
Yeah.
0.22% goes to the liquidity providers. So the 0.29 is 0.01% less than Uniswap. So we're already beating Uniswap on the fees anyway, same as PulseX does. 0.22% goes to the liquidity providers. 0.06% goes to the 9inch buy and burn, and then 0.01% goes to the BBC buy and burn. So it just means that the BBC's got that little bit of like upside pressure,
which is just a narrative anyway. Let's be honest.
It is a bit of a narrative. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's just a bit of a narrative, but it will help for sure over time. Like, I mean, if you know, Pepe was averaging $100 million worth of volume every day for like a week at one point. $100 million.
Yeah,
that is such a crazy amount of money.
Well, that's true. If you do Uniswap levels, even 1/10 of Uniswap volume, that's what we always say about PulseX too. Even if it does 1/10 of Uni volume, you're talking about significant levels of buy and burn. Right now, it's not really significant, but one day. So,
excuse me, just for 1 second, Mr. Coffee. I just got to be right back. I'll be right back with you. Sorry about
taking a wee.
Yes.
All right, Money Gang also did a 12-minute stream on YouTube. It is a succinct overview of Hexy's 3-hour stream. Yep. Yeah, if you guys don't like listening to us BS for an hour and a half, I basically told you everything that you need to know. Launch in 7 days, DEX on both chains, EHEX, PHEX yield farm. Pretty excited about that because that's what we wanted the whole time, pairing your EHEX ERC20 with the PRC20. Imagine EHEX and PHEX having a stable ratio. We can actually stabilize that ratio. Well, you can do that today on PulseX if you'd like, but you can do that on 9inch and get paid BBC for it. So probably going to take a gamble on that. I've got my EHEX, PHEX liquidity position on PulseX, but actually that's a question I've got for Hexy Bastard when he comes back. So I'll try to remember that one. Farms on PLS, yield pairs for 9inch will be higher. Obviously, that's what every yield farm does. That it's nothing new. Hexy Bastard, if you're listening, I got a quick question for you. Cool, man. So I've got this EHEX, PHEX liquidity position on PulseX V2 right now. Do I have to migrate? Can I use the same PLP and just stake it on 9inch, or are you creating a new liquidity pool?
No. It would need to be a new liquidity. So you'd have to remove the liquidity from them, and then we were going to do it so that you could do that, but it doesn't really make sense because then we can't use the buy and burn.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to. Yeah, you'd have to remove that liquidity altogether and then just migrate it over. But that's a fairly easy thing to do. So
yeah, not the end of the world. Yeah, we'll see how much liquidity we can rack up on that pair. I mean, if we get a couple $1 million on there, be pretty good.
Well, I had a look the other day, and we were looking at about something like $5 million roughly across V1 and V2 and V3 on the HEX ETH pair. So, I mean, honestly, my target's $4 or $5 million. I want all of it. I want everything. I want all of it. But we probably won't get all of it, but I would love to see 70-80% of that come over. That would be fucking marvelous, mate.
Yeah. Well, I think 80-90% already migrated from V1 to V2, but it just goes to show you some people just forget about their LP positions. Like some people are just going to leave it there because they've just forgot. But
and you know what? Like those guys that do leave it there, if most of the trading does come over to 9inch, then maybe those guys will actually make decent bank because there are still going to be a lot of noobs that don't know about 9inch at all, and they're going to just continue to trade on Uniswap as normal. But anyone who uses an aggregator, as long as we've got enough volume there, enough liquidity there, match a 1inch cow swap, they're going to have to use us, right? Like they're going to have to. If that's where the volume is and the liquidity is,
then
what can we do?
I'm going to answer this guy's question. Yes, you can scroll back, but we already talked about audits. They've got 2 audits. They're going to be posting them on GitBook, right? GitBook.
Yeah, GitBook, yeah.
Before launch, I assume. That's what you said in the GitBook, at least.
Yeah. They will be. Yeah, they should be. Actually, that's a dev question. I think they're going to do that though. Certainly. Yeah, they're definitely going to be on the website anyway. Like we're going to post them on the website before we launch. So
good.
Which
is
got to be super soon, by the way. I can't
4 days, right? I mean, who's counting?
Less than 4 days, sir. I gave a 1 week time window. Any time within the next week, it could be 10 minutes from now. Who knows?
It's kind of reminiscent of PulseChain launch, right? Anytime in the next week.
Well, we gave ourselves a little bit of leeway, just in case anything, went wrong. But because the thing is, like, Richard's right. Software's hard, man. Like we try and do stuff, and then you run into unexpected issues all the time. Like you try and do something simple, like a PancakeSwap fork, and then you run into like 50 different things that go wrong. It's weird. Actually, it's funny. When we had our first audit back from Coin Fabric, initially this one was, when we had the first audit back, they basically said you need to rewrite the PancakeSwap code basically completely. Because there's so many issues that they found with PancakeSwap code, and we're like, whoa. We don't want to do that, okay? Because that defeats the entire objective here. But it's because times change, and like when PancakeSwap came out, it probably was flawless. But then over time, there's been new exploits and new bugs that have come about. But we just said, like, look, as long as people can't lose their money, because the issues that, to be honest, I shouldn't even really be talking about this because I'm not a dev and I'll probably get it wrong. But the issues that they found were basically like, I'd like to say cosmetic. They're not cosmetic because it's not a cosmetic thing, but they're more like for succinctness and just, things like this. It's not really like that anything can go wrong. It's just that they're like, oh, for an extra layer. So it's like you've already got a condom on. They want you to put another one on. Basically, it's
there's a metaphor we can all understand. Thank you. Thank you. Fine. A man of the people, everybody.
The people's champ, man. I've been saying it for years. I was broken than all you guys a year and a half ago, like 100%. Fucking 100%.
Well, this just goes to show you, even a guy like Hexy Bastard can make it in crypto, you guys. If he's made it, I hope that gives you guys hope. Look, we've been going for an hour and a half.
That has flown by, mate. No, that's fine. If there's nothing particularly that you want to go over, I mean, I think we kind of covered like most of the bases.
I am just curious about that stuffed animal in your cabinet back there. Is that a penis?
Do you want to see it? Yeah, it's a penis. Do you want to see it?
Yes, I'd love to. I was hoping you'd ask.
Do you want to see my penis?
Short and wide, just like I expected.
That's how I imagine Richard's cock looks. Like this, just super mega thick. We call it a chode in the UK. Do you have that phrase over in America?
Chode.
Chode, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I imagine Richard's looks.
Well, it's a Red Bull can, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, Red Bull cans are longer than they are thick. I think his is like a crushed Red Bull can. No offense, Richard. I love you, really. I'm just fucking with you.
You've given a lot of thought to this, haven't you?
Oh, lots. We debated this for hours on my stream. We really did. Like we hours and hours and hours. It was like, look, we know how thick it is, but how long is it? You need a bit of length. You got to at least reach the the G spot and all that stuff.
That's right. I mean, I'm still trying to find it personally, but yeah, maybe one day.
I found it on the way out, mate. Oh, that's disgusting. That is disgusting. Sorry about that, guys. Family-friendly show until today.
Yeah. Hey, what is a woman anyway? Can anybody give some of the Bitcoin moaners? Can anybody give? What does that mean, dude? English, please. My ears. Mr. Cat says my ears. Yeah, we've definitely devolved in this conversation. So all the good stuff was back at the beginning. Let's see. From the bottom, it's from the bottom over the top and back down again. 6.3 inches. I see. That's all.
Yo, could you imagine?
That's how I measure too.
All that hype. Fucking hell. If that's the case, then I definitely got bigger than a 9-inch. Chilling. Probably 18.
Oh, nice. You heard it here first, guys. Only the hottest alpha on Crypto Coffee channel.
From base to the top to the base again. 19. Let's go.
Oh God! All right, guys. Any more questions in the chat? Because I'm gonna call it. I'm hungry.
This is probably like the most rude stream you've ever done, right? Or at least in the top 3 or 4. It's got to be.
Oh yeah, for now. But I'm sure I'll have you back on again. I want you drunker and just more.
Hey, I'm not even that drunk, man. I've only had 2 drinks. I'm all right.
That's the perfect level. They call that the Ballmer peak. It's Steve Ballmer, the founder of Microsoft. He found allegedly some developers, they do well. They do better code after they've had exactly 2 beers, and then they significantly drop off after that. But
I can imagine that's right? True. Actually, yeah.
You're out at the bar, 2 drinks. It's kind of the perfect level of going to talk to a lady or something like that. It's that 2 drinks.
Because you're coherent. You're not going to offend her. You're not going to call her names or anything. You're not going to slap her or anything.
Yeah. Unfortunately, anything after that, and I just turn into an absolute fucking retard.
So I go from retarded to like coherent to really retarded. Yeah. That's where I tend to go. I go because we said that word, you're definitely not getting monetized on this video. So.
Hey, it means slow. Hold on a second. Let me give you the official definition. Less advanced in mental, physical, or social development. It's true. It's true.
See, over here, they teach you that retard means special.
We're all special in our own way.
I'm very special.
That's right. That's right.
Does the chat have any actual questions? Because we've just been rambling on about garbage. We need to do this again, sir, at some point. Honestly, come on one of the pub quizzes when we do that. You'll fucking love it, mate. It's right up your alley.
Sounds like fun. All right.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get the invite one day, but
I think I did invite you once before.
Did you? Sorry,
once or twice. Yeah. You used to blank me, mate, and then I became a founder, and now you're interested again. That's all it is.
Oh, shut up! I was the one that had you on. You'd be nothing without me, Hexy.
I know. Yeah, you really cemented my career, 100%. No, to be fair, you did actually. You were like one of the first guys that spotted me when I came along.
It almost makes me want to go back and watch that, but at the same time, I fucking hate watching myself. Like even 2 years ago, it's so cringe. You get more comfortable talking in front of a camera over time.
I'm doing a stream with Gary Funding Gym tomorrow, and he used a picture of me on my first stream, and I look at that and I'm like, man, I look like a little boy on that photo, and it was only 2 years ago.
Crypto will age you, huh? Crypto will.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said to him. I was like, man, crypto has aged me like fuck. I look nothing like that anymore.
Yeah.
Shit, I've gained weight, man. It's because I stopped smoking weed, to be honest. As soon as I stopped smoking weed, I started putting a little bit of weight on, man.
Interesting.
I used to be skinny as hell. Yeah.
So you would think it'd be the opposite because you get the munchies and you start. I mean, I'm a late night.
It boosts your metabolism, man, when you smoke weed all the time. Because I used to smoke it all the time, bro. Like morning till night, every day, all day, every day. Like, and then I just stopped randomly about just before I did the PP sacrifice phase, actually, which is interesting because it never would have done as well as it did if I had still been smoking weed. So I think a little bit of weight gain's worth the the success that I've had. So I'll take it. I'll take it.
There you go. Yeah. I can't get shit done on weed, man. I mean, I'm more creative, I suppose, but I'm not productive at all. So
makes you fucking lazy, man.
Yeah.
So lazy. Like, you just can't do anything. So I'm glad. I'd rather be, drinking alcohol not every day. Although I did tell you at the beginning of the stream that this week, because I know we're launching, I've already admitted to myself, right, I'm going to drink every day this week because I need to be like, I'm in the zone, man. I'm excited. I'm fucking happy. Every day feels like a party at the moment. And then probably on like Sunday or something, I'm just going to have the worst hangover in the world and you might not hear from me for a few days. But that's fine. At least we know.
I mean, at least he's predictable, guys. Come on.
Someone asked, do I smoke cigars? Sometimes. I'm not a big fan of them, though, to be honest. Like, they're okay, but I'm not like that bothered about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch Andrew Tate enough to give a shit about cigars. It's like, you want to be a fucking alpha male?
Yeah, alpha. just smoke a cigar and work out, man, while you're smoking the cigar. No, I think Andrew Tate is a better role model for kids. Like, so I've got a little kid who's 10, right? And he likes Andrew Tate. And it's kind of funny that he likes Andrew Tate because I'd rather him like that than some like left-wing, trans, fucking pro-activist, vegan, whatever. I would much
now,
rather him.
Now I'm gonna get demonetized. Actually, the word Andrew Tate itself is like the biggest trigger for all these platforms. I mean, it's probably
really?
now I know it's probably gonna be that word is Andrew Tate.
Well, we might as well get a few more words in while we're at it then, just in case. Nah, it's all good, bro. I don't want to get you banned.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, I don't care. I could literally care less. This guy's got an actual question. When single-sided staking PP for 52 weeks, what is the 21x yield paid in BBC?
Yeah, all yield on the platform is paid in BBC. Everything. So if you single-sided stake PulseX, you get paid BBC. If you single-sided stake HEX, you get BBC. Everything's paid in BBC. Everything.
Yeah. Gary Guzzler, they're gonna kidnap us and chop our wheeze. Who, bro? This guy's paranoid over here. What are you guys talking about?
I would be as well, man. Like, for real. Like, I'd be paranoid about that as well.
Well, look, at one point we had 330 viewers. We're at 284. So
we've done well to maintain that viewership through the that we've been talking about. Mate,
we have, yeah. I'd say we quit while we're ahead. We just we end this while we're still on top, and let's do it again sometime. Absolutely. Let's maybe check back in a few months and see how 9 inch is going.
I'm gonna hit you up with an invite for the pub quiz in the next couple of weeks.
Please do.
Get you on that as well, man. You'll have a good time.
I'd love to. All right, guys. Yeah, Johnny. Coffee's final stream ends with the short bus edition.
Johnny, follow me on Twitter again, bro. I love you, really. I'm sorry if I offended you, man. I'm sorry if I offended you. I love you.
Johnny loves to go at it. He loves to go at it on Twitter. I don't know if he's
debate me on stream if you want, if you really want to get it off your chest, or even in phone call, whatever, man. I really like you, Johnny Chaos. You're like one of my favorite Hexicans ever.
He's the man.
So
dude.
I was very upset. I'm never upset when people unfollow me, but when you unfollowed me, it made me upset and it made me rethink myself. So Johnny Chaos, please DM me. Let's chat, because I don't want to be unfollowed by you.
Kiss and make up, you two.
I know. Let's have a hug, man. Let's have a virtual hug, please. I miss you, bro.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, for the record, BBC stands for Big Bonus Coin, and I really just don't know what else it could possibly stand for. So there you go.
Some people just have dirty minds, man.
Yeah, it's disgusting, really. So, all right, bro. Good talking to you.
Yeah, peace. Thank you for having me again. I love being on here, and thank you to all the chat for the good questions. And I'm glad that we just chopped the shit for a bit and spoke about all sorts of randomness. But
yeah, because they've heard it all before, man. They've heard it all before. But have a good Tuesday night, bro.
Yeah, take care, guys. Peace.